Oh my gosh!
Look, y'all, like you said, Brandon, we gotta wrap this one up here soon. But so last week, Brandon, you won the game with a point on the Name That Band game. So we are gonna play a different game this week. It's a TV game. It's called TV Ladder. And what I'm gonna do is I am gonna just read off some names of some lower tiered people, on the call sheet there on a TV show, and I'm gonna work my way up the ladder of the cast. And whenever you think you know the name of the show, just shout it out. How do we feel about that?
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
That sounds good. Are you going to give us the maybe the decade or the genre? No,
I've got to keep it as vague as possible in this one because I'm pretty much going to give you most of the main cast.
Okay, are we getting the character names or the actor names?
That was going to be my question.
Actor names.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. Here we go. We got a bunch on this one. We're going to start Christian Saratos, Seth Gilliam, Josh McDermott.
Walker Stalker. Walking Dead.
Yeah. I was going to say it's not
Walker Stalker.
Dang. My guess was going to be Becker.
Oh.
No, it's Walking Dead, right?
We didn't get to, was it Ted Danson? Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Did I get it right?
Yeah, no, you did.
Okay.
No, Ted Danson is not in The Walking Dead. That's for sure.
It was not.
No,
Becker.
I didn't think so. But I only watched a few seasons of that. So.
All right. Yeah, I know. I kind of fell off before the last one here. Let's see. Point for Moonbeam. One more we got here. Let's see what we can figure out here. Josh Myers, Lisa Robin Kelly, Tanya Roberts, Don Stark.
Judging Amy.
No. We'll continue.
You're not playing.
Tommy Chong. I don't know what he said, so.
Greg said that 70s show. I'm sorry. You cannot
It is that 70s show.
He does this every freaking time. Just shut your mouth.
He can't help himself.
He's like, he don't want to be on the. He doesn't want to be on the podcast. He doesn't want to be on the podcast at all. But he wants to sit over there at the table while he's. And then
he
he's
wants
just
to play the game.
Just blurting out.
Oh,
what a pain in the ass.
Wants to have his tea and drink it too.
Well, we're gonna do an all trivia episode, and we're gonna have Greg be on the all trivia episode soon.
I'm like the final boss.
What did he say?
He said you have to win. He's like the final boss.
He's the final boss. Yeah. You all have to battle it out, and then Greg will be the final boss of the trivia show. Yeah, look, here's what we're gonna do. That's perfect. We got to figure it out. All right, I got one more just to see what happens here. Jamie Brewer, Finn Wittrock, Gabori Sidibe.
Modern Family.
Oh, I like it. Not correct. Jessica Lange. Evan Peters.
Jessica Lange.
American G. Kathy Bates also.
That's American Horror Story.
Yes, correct.
Greg, stop talking.
Did he yell it out right as you said it?
No, after I said it.
All right, Moonbeam cleaned up on. You got 2 points, and that's really what's important.
Jessica Lange, yeah. I was like, who the F is Lange?
Hey there, Humbl fam. The My Hero Convention in Florida is coming up fast, August 25th through the 27th. This event is for all ages and fandoms, with lots of exciting celebrities to meet, panels and events to attend, and tournaments and contests to win. I mean, it's hard to list them all in this short amount of time, but let's get it. You can meet Justin Briner, Lucy Christian, Monica Rial, Justin Cook, David Matranga, Emily Neves, Christopher Waycamp, Brittany Karbowski, Trina Nishimura, Leah Clark, Jamie Markey, Strange Cat Cosplay, Remy Domino, and Beku Koss, and who knows, maybe the Humbl team has a few last-minute surprise guests up their sleeves. And the cosplay, are you kidding me? I hear Florida brings it. Like every time. You guys gotta come out and see the cosplay contest, the video game and card game tournaments, the rave Saturday night. I haven't even mentioned the incredible artists in Artist Alley or the freaking sick merch you can get from the vendors. And it's all happening right across the street from a beautiful beach at the Destin Fort Walton Convention Center. Get your tickets now at www.myheroconvention.com or just check out the link in our bio. See you guys there. Until then, stay humble.
At the convention. We wouldn't be
Sure,
doing
we
that
should
if
have taken some notes on this. For
Look,
sure.
we're not trying to I'm not trying to lay down the law and speak from a position of authority. We're just saying that as far as we know, we're still good.
Oh yeah, look, and here's the thing, if it comes down to affecting us, we will go through every loophole we can to make sure that if you come to a convention, you will have a good time and you will still get to meet the guest and have a good time. We will
Absolutely.
make sure we work it out to where it makes sense to still happen.
I mean, the most important thing is My Hero Con Florida. Still a go.
Oh, definitely.
Still a green light on My Hero Con Florida. We're all going to be there, Destin, Fort Walton Beach, end of August. It's going to be a great time, and like we said, this won't really affect that.
Yeah.
We had talked, you and I, Moonbeam, kind of had an aside about just kind of, and not really knowing anything, but sort of guessing about how some things like San Diego Comic-Con or something like that would be affected, because that's a convention that pretty much primarily promotes upcoming movies, things that haven't come out yet.
Yeah, that's there's a lot of that going on there. So I'm sure that will be affected. But as far as we're concerned, we're certainly not going to do anything. We absolutely stand with the actors and the writers. I mean, 100%. And we're going to do whatever we can. But we're not going to get them in trouble.
No.
We will find a balance to where everybody's happy at the convention.
We'll make sure all the ticket holders, all the attendees are satisfied and happy, and they have a great time. But also the actors are protected, I guess, for lack of a better.
We're not going to do anything to get them in trouble.
No,
you know what I mean? No. We're not going to on the sly, talk about stuff we're not supposed to talk about. And
we're not in the business of trying to push people to do things outside of their comfort zone. You know what I mean? It's just not it's not a great way to do business. It doesn't give you the best show. It's not a good time.
Oh yeah, it'll be we'll do our best to.
We're doing our best, and it's still a developing story. How about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Easy enough.
And hopefully it'll get resolved quickly.
Quickly, that's a different word.
Hopefully it will be resolved via quickie.
Look, I don't know what goes on in these labor discussions. Okay,
is that?
But if that's how it happens, I guess it's how it happens.
I mean, I think all of my most heated arguments have always been solved by a quickie. So
absolutely, that's the best way to resolve things like this is just a quickie, in and out, bing bang boom.
This is our last episode. We're done after this. This is the final.
Edit all that out, Grant.
Going on the journey with us, but it's over now.
we do this thing live. There is no editing.
There's some editing that goes on. Believe you me.
Here's the thing: is
for the most part, it's unfiltered.
I'm usually on my 17th cup of coffee by now, and it's just been too hot. It's been too hot to make coffee.
Well, yeah. Y'all are working in a zero AC condition right now.
Well, we were in a zero AC for all of yesterday.
Okay.
And then today, I woke up at very early. The plumbing company / HVAC company opened up at 4:30. So I gave them a call, and I was like, what's the quickiest you can get somebody out here? And they're like, we're on our way, baby. So they got here real early this morning and found out that it was just a cord or plug or a wire come loose. So we got us back online, cooling off this joint. So it's nice and cool. But I've been outside shooting a video all day. And it's 90 billion degrees outside in Mississippi.
Yes, it is.
What you making a music video? You making a movie?
Yeah, that's it. Music video. No, I when I'm not putting on conventions, I do video production work for mechanical companies. So I was doing an owner's training at a hospital. So basically, just a maintenance. This is how the toilets flush, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic.
Someone's got to learn them,
Oh yeah.
It's just,
Just
the way it is.
Yeah, there's and I ran into the wall. I was there. I accidentally leaned up against the wall. The lights went out, and all the toilets flushed in the whole place. They're still working on it. So
that's usually two things you don't cross.
Yeah, man.
So that's a wonder. I don't know how you do that, but life's little mysteries, I suppose.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's been a hot day full of crossed wires and loose wires.
Reporting live from the Heat Dome. Look, we mentioned earlier about how we did do a convention opposite a kid's what are they, beauty pageants, I suppose, whatever dance
it
was.
Beauty pageant.
And it was because we're wrapping up July, and this month has been the 1 year anniversary of a convention we did up in Memphis. We say up in Memphis because that's how far down south we are, in Tennessee, as part of Joe Bob's Drive-In Jamboree last year.
Yeah.
And it was really cool because normally it's just like a drive-in movie festival, but he wanted to do a fan convention during the day and then the drive-in thing at night. And so, the convention was our part. The drive-in festival was their thing. I mean, Joe Bob was there, right? Joe Bob and Darcy. But it was really cool because like earlier this month, I saw a lot of people who had been at that convention were posting things like, oh man, a year ago we were here, we were doing this really cool thing, and what a great time. So I just felt like it was really awesome that, we were such an integral part of this great memory that these people have, that they're so like excited to revisit a year later. I thought it was really cool.
Oh, that was the most fun. That was the most fun we had at a convention.
Oh my God, it was so great.
The horror fans they're a whole different kind of person, and they're the best people. We love working with horror fans, and of course the guests that came to the Joe Bob show were just the sweetest people, like funny and just down to earth. It was a great show, and it was in a hotel. So sometimes we do these shows in convention centers, and they can we do that because of space, but a lot of times it feels kind of sterile. To be honest with you,
Yeah,
but
it's like, hey, you want to come to this warehouse and meet some famous people?
Right, yeah. I mean, we don't want it to be that way, but after you do a couple of shows in a hotel, and then you have to go to a convention center, it feels a little it's not as cozy. It's not as cozy feeling as a hotel show.
Yeah.
So it had that going for us, and it was in that glass building in Memphis, and it was hot.
Oh man, it was so hot.
Goodness gracious.
We were sweating, but we were having fun, man.
I will say at nighttime, it felt kind of nice out there, at the drive-in, I guess because we're so far used to, we're so far south, we're used to it being so much hotter. But at nighttime when there was a breeze, at the drive-in, it was really cool. And I'd never done a drive-in movie theater before. And I'd always wanted to do that because when I was a kid, I really loved Monster Squad. And there's the scene in the beginning of the movie where he's like on top of his house.
On his roof,
he's got his binoculars and he's watching the movie. So I'd always wanted to do that because of that. Because all the ones here had closed by the time that I was a kid,
Oh, man.
So that was a lot of fun. And, Joe Bob basically did the last drive-in live, all 3 nights of the show. And showed some things like Rock and Roll High School because BJ Souls was there, and Halloween 3.
But yeah, there was Bubba Hotep too.
Oh yeah, they did show Bubba Hotep. Yeah.
BJ Souls was an absolute sweetheart. Like she really and truly was. I forget what the tagline of one of our shirts was. It was something like
Blood, Breast, and Beasts.
Yes. And I it was either someone that was with her or me being obnoxious, like, hey, you need to get one of these shirts. It's like, oh no, I could never wear this in front of my grandchildren. I'm like, yeah, you could.
I mean, look, you got killed in the first Halloween movie, strangled to death, and not fully clothed, I might add, in that scene. I mean, I feel like you could wear this shirt, So
I feel like most people who are strangled to death are usually not fully clothed.
Usually shirtless or something like that. Yeah. Seems to be the way it goes down.
That's a terrible way to go out. I'll tell you that.
What, shirtless?
No, I was thinking
Oh.
strangled to death, but I'll tell you what. Yeah, it both just it sounds bad. But I have a drive-in story.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to hear it,
I do.
If you want to hear it, here it go. When I was a kid, like in first grade, we started going to this church that was in an old gas station.
As they often are.
Yeah. So, I was probably in first grade, but you had to walk outside of the sanctuary and then go into like you know how like gas stations you used to have to carry a hubcap or whatever with the key on it to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was one of those situations, so you'd have to like leave the whole sanctuary, and just like carry a spare tire out, on the side of the building to unlock the bathroom. But once you got to the bathroom, if you peeked over the tree line, you could see the about 3/4 of the drive-in theater. Like you could see like 3/4 of the screen. But by this time in 1986, it was only playing pornos on Sunday night.
Typically how the business went, yeah.
Yeah. So that was my first drive-in experience. Was going to the bathroom at church.
See, those people, they were at church too, just a very different kind of church.
Yeah, man. I don't know why they would pick Sunday night. Seriously, like
they knew what they
Lord's
were doing.
Day.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if by that time they were like, oh, nobody's coming out here. We'll just watch what we want. Everybody's at church.
Yeah.
But what they didn't know.
Let me tell you, if I knew I could go to a church with like an icy machine in it, I would go to that church like multiple times a week.
Well, I'll tell you what. Some churches have a whole ass coffee shop. There's one church in Sebastopol, Mississippi, that has a Hebrews coffee shop that's open before church starts. That you can get your frappes and your lattes and your cappuccinos.
Yes, the Jewish outreach. It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah. So,
that's amazing because every church I've ever been to that has like any sort of like coffee machine, they always have cups that are the size of thimbles for said coffee. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with
a shot glass
3.5 ounces of like the worst coffee I've ever tasted? What am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah.
Is this like it's? I feel like in the very small handful of Catholic services I've ever been to, like the little cups of wine that they give you are larger.
Yeah. Well, I all this coffee talk is really making me want a cup of coffee.
I know. Might need a cup of coffee.
I feel like
there's 3 caffeine fiends on this this show right now. So if you talk about it long enough, it's going to be an issue.
Oh yeah. Well, hold on a second. What in the hell are you doing? Megan Louvier, a very
cool lady,
integral and important piece in the machine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She is a cog in the wheel of Humbl Enterprises. She is sitting on the opposite of me, just giggling and taking photos of God knows what.
Mm-hmm.
She's just back here giggling the whole time. I can't get Megan. Can you say something?
She's pirating the recording.
Why don't you? Yeah, that's what.
Megan,
exactly
introduce yourself if you're going to be there, giggling.
You're going to have to come over here closer to the microphone. Get over here
right on.
Listen, here's the thing. She calls me yesterday, or texts me yesterday. She's like, "Is it okay if I come tomorrow night?" And I was like,
"Yeah."
The whole room's destroyed. I was like, "You know what?
Sure."
She only lives like 6 hours away from you, so
she's staying all week, baby. Get over here and say hello. Hold on a second. You're not on camera. It's
ripping
just
it up at the grindhouse. Yeah, it's just me that's
Hello.
on camera. Hello.
Howdy.
She's waving. You look.
We're not.
You look well rested. Nice.
Am I well rested? I am not.
You're just pulling it off.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Yeah.
It's good seeing you.
Yeah, good seeing you. She lives closer to me than she does to you, and somehow she's over there. Anyway.
Yeah, well, look, here's the thing. Everybody, look, Joey's here.
Yeah, well, Joey
Hey, Joey.
lives like next door to you, so it's that's
I
normal.
live like 45 minutes.
Joey's like 45 minutes away, but
Pretty close.
you know,
Closer than me.
close
that's
to
for
the
sure.
Megan.
Well, look, we were talking about the jamboree. What's funny about the jamboree was, Matt, who we love, who was our main stage MC, did a lot of them, but he had for some reason his voice was not doing too well by the end of the day. I think on both Saturday and Sunday, so I took over a couple of those panels for him, and one of the ones I took over was for the Hammer, Fred Williamson. Fred Williamson is an actor, producer. He also played in Super Bowl I, known as the Hammer for his football playing days. So definitely a very blunt, very straightforward, but very awesome man for sure. And I remember because I had talked to him a little bit throughout the weekend, and I remember because normally what I like to do is I like to start, if I do a panel, I'll start on the stage and then I'll go out with the microphone and ask people questions. But I was like, it was a small enough room that people could yell out their questions. And I was like, I have to sit close to the Hammer the whole time, because if I don't, he's just going to be taking shots at me from the stage the entire time.
Oh my gosh.
So I was like, man, I've got to demonstrate to him that I'm not afraid to be within arm's length of him, within the reach of him for the entire length of this panel, or else it's just going to go sideways. But
He's so funny. Did you ask him what he thought about working with Quentin Tarantino?
He told me he sued him a couple times.
Yeah,
and he told me the second time he sued him, he called him and said, "Hey, eventually he said, "Hey, I'm tired of suing you." And Quentin Tarantino said, "I don't care if you sue me or not, because it's not my money. The studio is going to pay for it anyway."
Oh yeah, because I remember I don't remember if it was you or somebody that was asking. He was like, "You should ask him what it was like working with me."
Yeah.
he didn't say that to me, but that's great. You should ask him what it was like saying. That's awesome. He was
man,
So,
God, I love you.
Well,
We don't like
because
being called Fred.
So he made a movie called Inglourious Bastards decades ago.
Yes.
And then Quentin Tarantino made a movie called Inglourious Bastards, and that's whenever he called him and said, "Hey, I'm tired of suing you," and blah, blah, blah. So that's why Quentin Tarantino's movie is spelled
ERD.
ERD. That's why they changed the spelling of the movie, was because of the lawsuit.
Yeah.
True enough.
I think we only have a few more minutes left, but I do have my own Fred Williamson story.
Oh, do tell. We'll play a game.
This was at a previous show of ours. I actually got to sit down in this Q&A, and the guy that was running the panel, he was like, "All right, well, it's time for questions," or whatever he said. And one guy just raises his hand real fast, but then you have other people raising their hands, and you have Fred pointing slightly towards that guy, and he's like, "Oh, okay, yes, it's this kind of like gangly, kind of not so well spoken redhead." And he stands up. He's kind of just to put a mental image in your head, he's the kind of guy who's like, "Oh, may I ask a question? Thank you." Like, before he asks a question, he's like, "Homie, you already asked a question. You just wasted your turn. Next."
Yeah.
But in any case, it's like, oh, it's my turn. And he stands, and Fred Williamson, it's like, no, not you, the brother. and it was the gentleman behind him. And so the redheaded lad sat down with his question unanswered, and he sat down for the rest of the time.
Oh, man.
I hope he went by his table and asked the question later. I don't know. Oh man, that's so good though. That's so, but it's I guarantee it's a true story and it's accurate, because I just know.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Look, y'all, like you said, Brandon, we gotta wrap this one up here soon. But so last week, Brandon, you won the game with a point on the Name That Band game. So we are gonna play a different game this week. It's a TV game. It's called TV Ladder. And what I'm going to do is I am going to just read off some names of some lower tiered people, on the call sheet there. on a TV show, and I'm going to work my way up the ladder of the cast. And whenever you think you know the name of the show, just shout it out. How do we feel about that?
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Y'all
That
just keep
sounds
guessing
good.
until you get it.
Are you going to give us the like maybe the decade or the
No.
genre? No.
I've got to keep it vague as possible on this one because I'm pretty much going to give you most of like the main cast.
Okay, are we getting the character names or the actor names?
That was going to be my question.
Actor names.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. Here we go. We got a bunch on this one. We're going to start Christian Saratos, Seth Gilliam, Josh McDermott.
Walker Stalker. Walking Dead.
Yeah. I was going to say it's not
Like Walker
Texas Ranger.
Dang. My guess was going to be Becker.
Oh.
No, it's Walking Dead, right?
You know, we didn't get to, was it Ted Danson? Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
shoot. Did I get it right?
Yeah, no, you did.
Okay.
No, Ted Danson is not in The Walking Dead. That's for
It
sure.
was not
No,
Becker.
I didn't think so. But I only watched a few seasons of that, so.
All right. Yeah, I know. I kind of fell off before the last one here. Let's see. Point for Moonbeam. One more we got here. Let's see what we can figure out here. Josh Myers, Lisa Robin Kelly, Tanya Roberts, Don Stark.
Judging Amy.
No. We'll continue.
You're not playing.
Tommy Chong. I don't know what he said, so.
Greg said that 70s show. I'm sorry. You
It
cannot
is.
get
It is that 70s show.
He does this every freaking time. Just shut your mouth.
He can't help himself.
He's like, he don't want to be on the. He
It's-
doesn't want to be on the podcast. He doesn't want to be on the podcast at all. But he wants to sit over there at the table while he's. And then
He
he's
wants to
just
play the game.
blurting out.
Oh, he
What a pain in the ass.
wants to have his tea and drink it too.
Well, we're gonna do an all trivia episode, and we're gonna have Greg be on the all trivia episode soon.
I'm like the final boss.
What did he say?
He said you have to win. He's like the final boss.
He's the final boss. Yeah. You all have to battle it out, and then Greg will be the final boss of the trivia show.
Man.
Yeah, look, here's what we're gonna do. That's perfect. We got to figure it out. All right, I got one more just to see what happens here. Jamie Brewer, Finn Wittrock, Gabori Sidibe.
Modern Family.
Oh, I like it. Not correct. Jessica
Dang.
Lange, Evan Peters,
Jessica Lange. American.
L-A-N-G-E. Kathy Bates also.
That's American Horror Story.
Yes, correct.
Greg, stop talking.
Did he yell it out right as you said it?
No, after I said it.
All right, Moonbeam
But
cleaned
it's-
up on it. You got 2 points, and that's really what's important.
Jessica Lange, yeah. I was like, who the F is Lange?
Well, I think we established here, okay, Moonbeam wins the game, and we also established that My Hero Con Florida is still going to happen the way it was intended, just as Humbl Enterprises intended it to happen, in Destin, Fort Walton Beach, end of August.
Heck yeah.
You can get your tickets, myheroconvention.com, and we'll see you there. It's going to be a lot of fun. And, of course, we'll be back here next week for another episode. But until then, y'all stay humble.